Welcome back to Ben's Apisto channel. I've had some questions about what I feed my dwarf cichlids and why, so let me get straight to it. I've got some Cobalt algae wafers. I feed them these algae wafers because Apistogramma are, for the most part, omnivores. My Apistogramma McMasteri really love these. This is actually a mix of the Hikari algae wafers and the Cobalt algae wafers. These are pretty sweet. I used to have some plecos in these tanks and they really liked them too, so I'd recommend those for dwarf cichlids and plecos. Anyways, I picked this can up of Wardley shrimp pellets with a tank that was used that I got. The lady was feeding her fish these shrimp pellets and they were expired, so I ended up just tossing all the shrimp pellets out, and I kept the can and put Hikari shrimp pellets in it. I ended up getting a whole bunch of samples, so I got a whole bunch of those in there. I probably got about 25 samples that I just dumped in there. So I've got some Hikari shrimp pellets, which seem to work pretty well. I know it's sounding kind of Hikari overload over here, but I've got some Hikari Cichlid staple mini pellets, which I actually use to make gel food because these are the floating type, which work great for guys like the Oscar over here, but they didn't work great for my cichlids, my dwarf cichlids that like to feed in the bottom or middle of the tank, so they really didn't like these. The pencilfish like them though. The pencilfish like these a lot, so they like to peck at them, so occasionally I'll put those in for the pencilfish. This is what I feed them a lot of. This is Omega-1 Supercolor pellets right here. They are fairly small, and why I feed these guys instead of something larger would be because these guys are so small, and I kind of wanted to try out Omega-1 because I've heard that it doesn't cloud up your substrate. I don't feed them a whole lot. I've had this container for a couple months now, and you know, little pinch at a time, and it goes pretty quick sometimes. Anyways, I've got some blackworms over here, some live blackworms. I believe another word for these is California blackworms. These were $4 for an ounce, so more expensive than a lot of steak that you guys have. So you know what we feed our fish, and if you'll notice, I've got it on a silver spoon. That's right, I feed my fish with a silver spoon. Get over it. Anyways, these are California blackworms. These are very high in protein. Fish love them, absolutely love them. Put them in my Apistogramma cockatoides tank that has pencilfish in it, and the pencilfish seem to eat most of them before they get to the bottom for the cockatoides. But this promotes a lot of egg development with a high protein. Basically what you want to do if you have these and you're not familiar with them is you want to keep them in a cold place, cold dark place like your refrigerator. So keep them in your refrigerator covered so you don't get them all over your husband or wives or girlfriends or even your food if you accidentally tip them in the refrigerator. And then just replace about 75% of the water. I've got a worm on my hand. Replace about 75% of the water every day with some RO water, some fresh RO water, or some fresh distilled water, just dechlorinated water. That's about the same temperature as the water in here, so some refrigerated stuff. Moving on, I've got some, hey look at that, I've got a little worm on the front of there. I've got some dried bloodworms right here, which are not actually worms. Not worms. Here, let me get this to focus. They're not worms. They are aquatic larvae of the midge, which is maybe a Monty Python character. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a bug. But it's got some pretty good protein. It's got 52% protein. This stuff, I usually let it soak for about 10 minutes before I put them in my tank because they just float right away. They're pretty small, really, really light, and these have lasted me quite some time. I also feed them, well, I guess not them, but I feed my dwarfs, or my red cherry shrimp, this MK breed sampler pack full of food. It's from Japan. A Japanese company makes this. $4.99 for half an ounce. That's pretty crazy. But this is the shrimp food. I've probably gone through maybe 2% of that so far, since my shrimp population is only at 2 right now. Well, I guess I have some babies in there. I don't know how many shrimplets I have in there so far. I at least have 2, so I guess there are 4 shrimp in that aquarium right now, and they just get a tiny bit of that. So anyways, this is what I feed my dwarf cichlids, other than I've got some Hikari frozen bloodworms downstairs, which kind of suck. They don't have a lot of protein. And then some brine shrimp, some frozen brine shrimp. I don't know which company that's from. I believe it's from another one in California, but it's okay. And I kind of just wanted to go over one more thing before I leave you guys. Is when you get a new fish, a lot of people quarantine their fish and stuff like that, but they don't add a whole lot of antibiotics or treatments in with that fish. And I definitely recommend, if your fish are flashing, it seems like they might have a parasite, or if you do have some new fish, especially if you get wild fish. But if you're ordering wild fish, maybe you know what you're doing. You should definitely get some of this stuff. This is Pro. It's made by Aquarium Solutions. They make a product called Metro as well. I believe Metro works a little bit better, but this is just what I have right here. I've got some Pro. And you're going to want to treat those fish in your quarantine tank with a bit of Pro, because this will get rid of pretty much any of your internal parasites. It'll help your fish out a lot. It's for freshwater and marine aquariums. It takes care of flukes, tapeworms, flatworms, and a whole lot of other ones. It's extremely safe, very, very effective, and I just really can't recommend this product enough. It's awesome. Use it for any new fish that you're acclimating into your aquarium. So anyways, thanks for watching. You guys have a good day, have a good weekend, all that kind of good jazz, and I'm out.